Good morning. Do please sit down. My name is George. I am what's called a reader in training, and it is my pleasure to share with you a few thoughts on this morning's gospel reading, the second reading that we heard. Do not worry in the slightest if anybody's making any noise. I'm used to being barracked during my sermons, so scream as much as you like. Just a couple of weeks before Pope Francis sadly died, I was given a copy of a book that he wrote 3 years ago, the title of which is I Want You to Be Happy. Not the sort of book title that you'd normally associate with the supreme pontiff of the universal church. Now, I would imagine that all of us here today would like to be happy. Some of us are already happy, which is wonderful. And for Nico's family and their friends, this is most certainly a very happy day. I won't attempt in a 5-minute talk to praise the wisdom and encouragement that is contained in this little book. But I do just want to share with you a couple of Pope Francis's insights which really struck me. An oft repeated, but it seems rarely believed message in our culture of today is that wealth, material possessions, status, having the right friends, and accumulating experiences do not bring true happiness. And Pope Francis warns of the dangers when our goal in life is only success, pleasure, and the accumulation of possessions, always looking for more. And he says, our memories should not be crammed together, as in the memory of a hard drive or archiving everything in some sort of virtual cloud. And he goes on to say this, we need to learn how to transform past events into a dynamic reality that will give us cause for reflection from which we can extract lessons and meaning for the present and the future. That's a bit tough. I'll just read it again so it can sink in. We need to learn how to transform past events into a dynamic reality that will give us cause for reflection from which we can extract lessons and meaning for the present and the future. I have just got back from a city break to Valencia in Spain. And I realize I'm immediately falling into the trap of sharing with you all today my latest experience, hoping you'll be suitably impressed. But one moment on this trip summed up for me how Western society, seems to be getting it all wrong at the present time. Last Wednesday, my wife and I paid a visit to one of Valencia's principal tourist attractions, its cathedral. Some of you may have been there. We duly paid our €9 entrance fee and proceeded to don the headphones of our audio tour guides and press the buttons of our keypads to listen to the commentary about the history of the different parts of the building. The climax of our self-guided tour, number 24 on our keypad, was the Chapel of the Holy Chalice. Chapel in which the Holy Chalice is displayed is behind armor-plated glass. And the chalice is said to be the chalice that was used by Jesus at the Last Supper, when he instituted the key Christian sacrament of Eucharist or Holy Communion. Now, a few people were kneeling in prayer in this hot, crowded, holy place, but the vast majority of the seething tide of humanity, each one of whom I totally recognize is unconditionally loved by God, seemed only to be interested in jostling with one another to find the best position to take a selfie with the Holy Chalice in the background. having, of course, first tidied their hair and applied their well-practiced selfie smile for the camera on their mobile phone. The immense religious significance of the Holy Chalice was, I fear, lost on most of those who passed it by, wanting only to be sure that they got a photograph to add to the cloud in their album of experiences. Our second reading today was about doubting Thomas. I'm sure you've heard about doubting Thomas, who only believed that Jesus had risen from the dead when he actually saw him, his doubts immediately evaporating into thin air the moment he set eyes on the risen Lord and was able to actually touch him. But we're called by God to live by faith, not by sight. And faith is not a quick fix, a momentary experience that can be recorded in the cloud on our mobiles. It's a journey, one that will give purpose and meaning. I pray for Nico's family and friends that the photos you'll be taking today will become part of that journey, not a momentary experience simply filed away in the cloud. Let me close with a few more words from this I Want You to Be Happy book, and we all want to be happy. The late Pope Francis says, "Friends, you were not made merely to get by, to spend your days balancing out your obligations with your pleasures. You were made to soar upwards towards the most genuine, true, and beautiful desires that you cherish in your hearts, to love God and serve your neighbours." So wherever you are on your journey of faith, whether you haven't started it yet or are just taking your first baby steps along the road, or whether you've been walking with Jesus for many years, let us all remember that each and every one of us is loved by God unconditionally. And may each of us find time in our oh-so-busy lives to seek him out, to know him more clearly, love him more dearly, and follow him more nearly, day by day. Amen.